Our big focus this hour, it's been 9 days since a 31-year-old trainee doctor was raped and murdered, and her body was discovered on the 3rd floor at the seminar hall of the RG Medical College and Hospital. The accused, Sanjoy Roy, has confessed to the crime and disclosed horrifying details. The autopsy reports have been released and the details are absolutely chilling. The autopsy documents over 14 injuries across the victim's body, including her head, her nose, neck, left arm, belly as well as chin. Blood was reportedly oozing out of both her eyes due to the shards of glass. The autopsy report confirmed that she had to suffer forceful penetration, indicating sexual assault. The cause of the death has been determined to be manual strangulation associated with smothering. The manner of death has been ruled as homicide. In the next few minutes, I will detail to you the events that took place from the night of August 9, 2024 until 7:30 a.m. when her body was discovered. Let's quickly show you what exactly transpired there and help piece together the sequence of events that, of course, unfolded on that fateful evening. So let's begin by telling you, of course, about what happened around 11 p.m. that evening. 31-year-old trainee doctor had dinner with 4 of her colleagues after completing 36 hours of duty. Let's quickly go across and then tell you that the main accused at that point, Roy, had come back to the hospital to assist reportedly with an X-ray of a patient there. The patient's family accompanied him during this. A few minutes later, after that, he left. Meanwhile, around 12:45 a.m., the victim and her colleagues were reportedly watching Neeraj Chopra's silver medal win. So they had completed their duty, had dinner. They were watching Neeraj Chopra at the Olympics. Remember, that was a late-night javelin throw final. The other doctors, around 1 a.m., left while she remained in the room as she was on night duty. She was doing her night duty. She remained there in the room. Around 1:12 a.m., the victim called up her mother. She told her that she had eaten food and she asked her to have hers. This conversation took place around 1:12 a.m. The trainee doctor, in her last diary entry, wrote that she wanted to become a gold medalist in her MD course. That was her ambition, her goal that she wrote in her diary entry. Fortunately, that was the last entry she put in her diary. Between 1 and 3 a.m. then, the accused, Sanjoy Roy, was reportedly drinking alcohol behind the hospital premises. He was a habitual drinker, as his neighbors and others close to him have said. He was drinking behind the hospital premises. 3 a.m., reportedly the victim was sleeping in the seminar hall with a red blanket. Reportedly, this is, of course, the picture of that seminar hall where, of course, the victim was. There was a residential this was a residential doctor room. There was a residential doctor room, beg your pardon, followed by where the seminar room was. They were adjoining each other. Around 3 a.m., there was only one bed available in the seminar room. These are all events that transpired, of course, that night. Around 3:55 a.m., the main accused, Roy, entered the seminar hall where the trainee doctor was sleeping. Remember, we told you earlier, she had taken a blanket and she was sleeping there. Roy entered around 3:55 a.m. Roy was reportedly wearing a Bluetooth device around his neck when he entered the room. Around 4 a.m., Roy reportedly sexually assaulted her for 40 minutes. Sexually assaulted the victim for 40 minutes. CCTV footage then captures Roy leaving the hospital premises around 4:37 a.m. 4:40 a.m., Roy then reportedly returned to his barrack and fell off to sleep. Such was the brazenness of his crime. He didn't care, went about his usual routine, fell asleep. The torn device was reportedly found to be paired with his mobile phone at 4:40 a.m. 7:30 a.m. then, the 31-year-old trainee's body was found in the seminar hall in the morning. That's where she was last seen. That's where her body was recovered. The victim's books, bottle and glass were found scattered all around her. Remember, as we told you earlier as well, reportedly there was blood, even from eyes, because of shards of glass. These are all reported to be the events that took place through the night. Let me quickly join on this big story, BL Vora, former DGP BL Vora. Absolutely shocking sequence of events. What do you make of it? This is, of course, a heinous crime that's still being investigated by, of course, first the Kolkata police, then the CBI. Now we're, going through the sequence of events. What do you make of the details of the crime that we know so far, and also of the pace of the investigation?
About both things. Number one, horrific crime, shameful. We all should hang our head in shame. As far as this case is concerned, I think it also speaks of the lax security and the vigil in the hospital also. And this man, if he was drinking and he was habitual drinker, I don't know, somebody's notice it may have come. And then how he escaped from the place, that was another issue. As far as the pace of investigation is concerned, I don't want to go into gory details of the post-mortem report which you have mentioned. Very, very unfortunate. Now, the pace of investigation, I think, was rather slow. It's a matter of shame because in these days of media glare, I think police has to be proactive. This is what they should have done. It wasn't done. That is why the protests and all. And then, as you know, the political blame game started. The state political party blaming the central political party and vice versa. Now, Uday, the problem is that police, as you know, has become the private army of the politicians of the state. In each state, it has become like a private army. And the politicians, the ruling politicians, the political party always wants its interest to look after. And police join hands because police is accountable to the law, not to the law, but to the politicians according to the Police Act of 1861, the same old story. And their careers and punishments and rewards are in the hands of the politicians. It doesn't, of course, absolve the police leadership of the responsibility. I think that they have definitely failed. Even if it is rewards and punishments are in the hands of the politicians, one must take up the cudgels on behalf of the victim, on behalf of the law. This is what I did during my 40 years of service in the Indian police. But point is that times have changed quite a lot. Now, this brings me to the next point. Unless these reforms are done, unless police is made accountable to the law and to the parliament and not to the politicians, things are not going to improve. Look at this. When this case was referred to CBI by the state government under pressure, the same CBI which was being criticized by Mamata Banerjee all the time, same CBI which was Gherauд when they were probing her minister, if you recall, 2 years ago, there in Kolkata itself. And now she says, finish it by Sunday, the investigation, the fellow should be hanged, and she takes to streets. It is basically to save her political turf and nothing else. Rather than feeling sorry and saying, coming and openly and saying, well, I mean, it's unfortunate, I'm sorry, and we will take necessary action. So, police has failed. The politicians of the state, the political party has failed. The hospital has also failed, I must say that. And 9 days we're talking of in England when the recent riots took place, the three accused were sent to jail, 20 months imprisonment within 9 days of the whole thing, starting from the committing of the crime to the judicial order of sending them to the prisons, 9 days. Can you imagine in this country? Even in this case, when the fellow is arrested, it will take years and years. In fact, even when we catch terrorists from Pakistan, it takes us 20 years to hang them. The whole thing is in shambles, let me tell you. And I think that unless the political parties decide to change everything, things will not improve. But they are not going to change because it serves their political interest. In fact, this is what I wrote today only in an article to Tribune, which I sent, which hopefully will be published tomorrow. So I think, frankly, it's a pessimistic view, but that is what it is, Uday. Uday?
Yes. Let me also introduce Dr. Meenal Chaudhary now and bring her into the conversation, Director of Radio Diagnosis and Interventional Radiology, Akash Healthcare Super Speciality Hospitals. These are the details available in the public eye so far. What stands out according to you, Dr. Chaudhary? What do you make of the sequence of events? What shocks you? What right now for you doesn't really piece together, or something suspicious that you find? And also, what do you make of the pace of investigation so far and the leads that the CBI and earlier the Kolkata police have been able to uncover and unearth?
Yeah, according to me, first things first, why is it taking so long for a Central Protection Act to be passed for the doctors? See, my point of view is that if there is a policeman in uniform, if there's a traffic police in uniform, if there is anybody who is doing a government service in uniform, we respect that uniform. We don't argue with them. We don't, raising a hand is a separate story. We don't even argue with them because they are on duty. Why is it taking so long to bring in Protection Act for doctors? They are on duty. They are serving the government. They are, even if they're not serving the government, in government colleges, in private sector also, they are at the service for humanity and, for human beings. Why is it taking so long for Central Protection Act coming for doctors? And as far as, me and my fraternity is really looking for answers for that. As far as justice for this girl is concerned, we all know what is happening, how everything is fudged in this case. So, see, until now, until a week back, I, as a woman doctor, or I, as a woman of India, I used to feel so empowered within me. But these 7 days, what has happened, what we have seen, internally, somewhere I'm feeling weak. 50% of Indian population wants justice, and it is being denied and delayed. So I think the proceedings should be paced up, and we should get justice as soon as possible. Doctors are serving the humanity. Doctors are at service. Junior doctors more so, because they're always available without looking at the clock. So I am really, really disappointed by the way the things are proceeding. And I, with my folded hands, want Supreme Court and the laws to please give us justice and, give an example for the youth of today and the doctors and the women of India that justice will not be denied in this country. Thank you.
Okay. Let me, in fact, quickly take that across to Joyita Basu, editor of the Sunday Guardian as well, who's also joined us now live. Joyita, so far, this is the sequence of events that we do know. What doesn't meet the eye according to you? What do you make of the details available so far that have tumbled out? What is missing according to you right now? And also, so far, the sequence of events, the public information, the evidence gathering that has happened by the Kolkata police first and the CBI, are you satisfied with it or not?
Well, satisfied is one word that cannot be used about this case whatsoever. Let's not forget, you see, considering I read Bengali, I've been reading a lot of these reports that are coming from Calcutta, and many of them, quoting sources in CBI, they have already talked about how dissatisfied the CBI itself is about this case, primarily because the body was disposed of too quickly. The postmortem that was done, the videography of that postmortem is unclear. It is hazy, that footage at many places, as a result of which it is not known. A lot of things the CBI has not yet been able to find, primarily because it seems a concerted attempt was made to cover up the incident, and there are time lags and there are time gaps. Say, for example, the police was informed at 10:10 a.m. Why is it that if the body was discovered at 7:30 or 8 o'clock, whatever be the time in the morning, why is it that there was such a huge long gap? Then, for example, the second question is that why is it that the parents were told initially by the college that their daughter had committed suicide? So, obviously, these are strong cover-up attempts. Why was it that the body was disposed of so quickly? You know, when this whole thing was kind of gathering steam, they decided, and hospitals keep body for very long hours. So why is it that immediately soon after the postmortem the body was disposed of? So you see, I mean, what we are witnessing, there are a whole lot of loopholes in there. And also, if we are talking about this man Sanjoy Roy, now he was not an employee of the hospital, he was some kind of a tout. Why is it that a man who is not an employee of the hospital, how does this man have free access to the hospital? Why wasn't the seminar room locked? How did this man know that this lady was there in the seminar room? I mean, did someone give him the information? Was he under instruction to go and attack this woman? So you see, from whatever I am reading in the Bengali newspapers, there are lots of loopholes in that and nothing is adding up. Most importantly, what we need to find out is that if this, you know, there is a huge, I would say, conspiracy theory, you can call it, there is a rumor that is doing the rounds, that this is not the work of one man. All right, there are other people, they are involved in it, and you see that whole thing has been covered up. And lots of other murky details are coming out about, you know, about the charges against this particular principal of RG Kaur Medical College, that Sandeep Ghosh, that apparently he was running a racket over there. So, you know, that the students, in fact, we published in Sunday Guardian, I think about 10 or 11 charges that are there against this principal. And they are absolutely horrendous charges. Everything is about money making and all. So when you are going into the investigation, when the CBI is going into that investigation, they will have to probe all that angle. And also the question arises, for example, why was this man, why did the state government transfer this man inside, you know, when he had to step down under pressure from students and under pressure from the public, he stepped down. Inside 4 hours, he was reinstated. What does a college, what kind of hold does a college principal have on the chief minister of a state that he has the power to get himself reinstated in an equally important college or perhaps even a better ranked college inside 4 hours? You see, there are so many questions there, and the problem that the government in West Bengal, government in particular, is creating is that it is taking this my way or the highway route. Okay, if you do not follow my way, so, and there are so many, I mean, why is it that the Kolkata police is sending out notices to whoever is tweeting anything? I mean, even an MP of Trinamool got a notice. He said, you come inside, come to our the police headquarters in Lal Bazar, inside 30 minutes you have to come, and this is a Trinamool MP. Okay, Sanjoy Roy, he was given a notice and he is furious. Today I was just reading his interview in one of the English newspapers, and that he is just furious, saying, I mean, if we cannot even raise our concern. So, you know, if this is how the police is going to treat us. Another MP, in fact, 2 of these MPs, they have raised their concern. He was sacked from the post of Trinamool spokesperson. So, this Mamata Banerjee is thinking that her political popularity, because she is very popular, that is going to help her tide over this crisis, that everybody will ultimately fall in line and say, oh my God, our Didi is the best thing that has happened to us ever in Bengal. So, we are going to listen to whatever she does, but at least in the urban areas of Bengal, the semi-urban areas of Bengal, the small towns and all, people are furious. She is misreading the pulse of the ground. She should take this very seriously.
Okay. Let me in fact quickly take that to you, you know, as well, Dr. Chaudhary, because the fact of course is, you know how, you know, tedious of course night shifts are. Doctors toiling through the night, of course trainee doctors go through this grind. It's something that we see in hospitals all across the country, and I'm sure you've also you know, experienced it and seen that, Dr. Chaudhary. The least we can do is ensure safety. As Joyita was saying earlier, how was this man allowed access to all areas of the hospital? We've seen photos of him brazen, you know, he has police written on his bike. How was he allowed that? You know, and how was he allowed all access areas through the night? These are all questions that the hospital administration needs to answer.
Yeah, Uday. So exactly, how is he allowed inside? A few of the reports have also mentioned that he was one of the police informers, and he was also helping the hospital administrations and their liaising with the police. So that is how he was allowed in all the sensitive areas of the hospital. But having said that, even if there was this civilian, or not civilian, there was this guy who was in licensing, licensing between the hospital administration and the police. There are areas where he should not be allowed, and more so, security should be there in all the hospitals. See, I did my MBBS and all 25 years back. That was the time we never thought that in our hostels or in our uh, hospital premises there would be any safety issue. I remember when I used to come back from evening shifts or night shift, and I used to give my mom a call, and I used to say that, okay, I'm in my hostel premise, okay, I'm in my hospital premise. That's when she used to sleep, that now my daughter is secure. This event which has happened has seriously shaken us. And I'm not talking just about hospitals. This is for the masses. I'm saying that it is not just medicos who are facing this brunt. You go to the social media, there is a lot of content which is coming these days of various universities where these kind of things are happening. So it's our humble appeal and strict demand from the government and from the various hospital administrations to have strict security inside the premises. This is the basic we need. This is the basic we need for our young ones to go to those colleges and universities and come back and serve the country. I think this should be there. This is basic hygiene which is needed for all of us to work for the society or for ourselves, and for have that trust in the government and the universities. This is the basic. I never thought that I will be demanding the basic things from on this platform, but that's the sad truth.
Yes. Let me, in fact, take that to B.L. Vora as well. B.L. Vora also now chilling details emerging in the autopsy report. The kind of gruesome manner in which there were injuries all over her body is just shocking and very, very rattling, B.L. Vora.
It raises a lot of other issues also, which you said. One is, of course, this is there. See, this has happened to a doctor in a hospital. Look at the helpless women, illiterate women in the villages, what is happening there. These crimes have been happening, no doubt about it. Now, of course, more is known because of the media. But talking of the complicity of this man, I think this man getting access, maybe he would have done recce definitely of the area. And maybe there is complicity also, which should definitely come out. And this crime has shaken the conscience of India. And as Dr. Chaudhary was saying, all women doctors are scared today. Nobody would, in fact, send the daughter or the wife now, lady, to the hospital now to work. I can tell you that. And look at this, the football match, Durand Cup, which was cancelled yesterday by the police abruptly after the people came to the ground saying that there's no police left. And then they were lathi charged. Blunder after blunder. Now, Supreme Court has taken the cognizance. Tomorrow is the hearing. Let's hope that they do something. But my earnest appeal to Supreme Court will be that this investigation and prosecution must be fast-tracked. It must put a deadline of 2 months maximum for the hanging of the person. If we don't do it, I think we will be failing the nation once again. We had Nirbhaya, we changed laws, nothing changed on ground. Now they are calling it Abhaya case. This is what is happening. And then more so what the Prime Minister said on Independence Day, the punishment should be very widely publicized. Only crimes are publicized in this country, even by the media and everyone. When punishment is given, there is no publicity at all. What will act as a deterrent then if that is not done? I, for one, am a great votary of publicity in these matters. So I think it's not only investigating one crime, prosecuting. There's a whole lot of issues which this matter has raised. And of course, the political game also, the political upmanship also, the saving the political turf. How about the common man? How about the nation? Nobody is bothered in this country. This is a shame on all of us. Uday.
All right. I'll leave the last word to Joyita Basu.
Well, first of all, obviously there has to be accountability. Most importantly, unless and until, because remember one thing, Mamata Banerjee's history with the CBI, it's a very murky history. Now that is one organization she does not trust. She goes out of her way to basically clear the pitch for CBI. If you remember the Rajiv Kumar incident that happened where she would not, one of our police chiefs, I think he was the DGP of Bengal at that time. Now she refused to hand him over to the CBI in an investigation. So it's a very, very murky development. And you see, the problem with her is that she's totally, she has made the issue wholly political. Okay, as a result of it, she was taking out a rally on Friday. What was she rallying? Asking for justice for the victim. I mean, it's your government, it's your administration, it's your police who has been accused of botching up the case to the extent of covering it up. Who are you rallying against? And you know, to say things like CBI has to catch the culprit, or, you know, punish the culprit by wrap up the case by Sunday, hang the culprit by Monday. Sorry, these do not work like that. And you see the way she is coming down on the protesters, that is aggravating matters. I mean, I am in touch with several people. Everybody, even among her supporters, they are furious because you see, I mean, many of them have daughters, they have wives, they have girlfriends who go out at night, who have to work night shifts, not just it is not just that the medical profession has women working night shifts, even in the media, so many women work in the at night. So you see, it's a question of, you know, jeopardizing the security of a work environment, and that is what has happened. This didn't happen in the street, this happened in the security of the hospital. You know, if you cannot provide security to your own staff, then sorry, there are major problems over there. So yes, I totally agree that the investigation should be finished ASAP, and then, you know, and this calls for a death penalty. This is rarest of this, can be regarded as a rarest of the rare case, and calls for a death penalty, and it has to be given fast. We should not see a repeat of the Nirbhaya case when things went, you know, stretched along for years, and then there was so much controversy and problem in terms of whether the boy was minor or not, whether he should be hanged or not. Sorry, you not only have to deliver justice, you have to show that you are delivering justice.
My thanks to all of our guests for joining us.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.